with the Eromanga Natural History Museum. And we're joined by Robin. How are you?
Good, thanks, Rod.
It is a trip back in time, but it's also the future for your local area.
Absolutely, Rod, yes, and it's actually a very exciting one too, and we're really beginning to feel those vibes coming through with the visitor numbers this year increasing substantially on last year. So a lot of very positive comments, a lot of positive feedback on what we did last year, and so we're seeing the fruit of that, I guess, this year. By increased numbers. And we're also offering a lot more this year, so there's a lot more for people to come to see.
So the Eromanga Natural History Museum, how did it all come about?
It started as a vision, I guess, that my husband and I had probably about 12 years ago, not long after the very early discoveries were made in 2004. So when you find dinosaur material on your property, you actually, you think that's a pretty amazing thing. And in our case, we could really see that it was just very exciting on so many levels, from science and education and the opportunities that we could develop something for the whole region, really, and ultimately for Australia. And that was where the beginning of this whole vision sort of started to develop the Eromanga Natural History Museum. It probably has taken a lot longer than we thought. I mean, you know nothing about this sort of thing when you start. So the whole journey's taken a lot longer. But I guess it's been a good thing because we've been able to build what we had no idea we would build, but this collection of dinosaur bones and now the megafauna collection and everything else that's come with it has just become this amazing collection, which is very unique to this area and to Australia, really.
And so your journey, basically 12 years old, but actually what's there is something like 95 million years old?
Yeah, so we date back to, actually it's 13 years old in reality because the early discoveries were 2004, but the dinosaurs are dating back to 95 million years, and then we also, have the megafauna which date to 100,000 years. So we have this unique situation in this part of Australia where we've got a fossil heritage timeline sort of happening sort of in a relatively small part of Australia, I guess you could say. So you can come and see a prehistoric dinosaurs from 95 million years ago down to the megafauna which are basically the creatures that evolved after the dinosaurs disappeared. And they were supersized animals as well. And then we, also have our modern day collections as well, which we're developing as well. So it's a pretty interesting timeline of our history, our heritage in natural history that we've got in this collection and that we are displaying. And
have you always had an interest in this sort of thing?
Yes, I have. Personally I have. I've always had an interest in the natural history, and we generally do when you live on the land. Mine may have been a little bit stronger than most people, perhaps, but when you find a dinosaur bone, it's pretty hard not to get keen, and I'm pretty excited about it. And I guess that multiplies many times when you start sort of showing a few people and just everyone gets very excited, and then you start finding Australia's largest dinosaurs, and that was just amazing. And then they start turning out to be new to science, and that's even more amazing. So it's been a pretty amazing. It's pretty hard not to get excited, even if you weren't a little bit interested in dinosaurs before. You certainly do become very interested in it, and I think we see that with people coming through the museum. Some people come and they sort of probably aren't all that interested, but they walk out just absolutely amazed about what they've learnt and how they sort of understand the whole process of discovering, all that story behind the dinosaurs and the megafauna. We've got some really exciting things happening this year. So, we've got lots of education program. We just started running that this year, and that's for our schools and our seniors and our families. We've had a few groups of seniors come through, and they just love that. We actually had a group yesterday, and we basically spent time with them teaching them how to work on the fossils, and we do the same for families and schools.
So you give a bit of hands-on stuff as well?
We do a lot of hands-on stuff, Rod, yes. And we've also just opened up our lodge, our on-site accommodation, which is sort of equivalent to something like 4-star, I guess, and it's self-catering, and you can be catered for as well. And it's a great complementary in addition to the museum, because it gives people that opportunity to stay on site and participate in our programs, learning how to prep dinosaur bones and megafauna bones, doing the seniors programs, doing the tours, whatever they choose to do. And it's just a little bit of luxury in the Outback and enjoying your time at the museum as well.
It sounds like something that I could thoroughly enjoy.
I'm sure you could.
Now, you've mentioned the Australia's largest dinosaur, and I believe that's called Cooper.
It certainly is, and Cooper will be published as the candidate for a new genus and species this year. We're very happy to say, finally, after about 10 years of getting him ready for this. So it's a big year for Cooper, and it's going to be a big year for our museum and everyone involved as well, because it's not every day you get to announce a new dinosaur, and not only just a new dinosaur, but Australia's largest dinosaur, which is actually in the top 10 largest in the world. So absolute monster.
So,
and we've also been really lucky to just fund a replication of what we can fit in the stage that we're in at the moment, which is the front and the hind limb sections of Cooper, and that actually is something that's goes just about right to the top of the big shed that we're in. So it'll be pretty amazing to see when you walk in, when you visit the museum.
2WEB with Coffee, having a talk with Robin McKenzie from the Eromanga Natural History Museum. So for folks that are listening to us have a bit of a natter on the radio today, particularly in parts of sort of like the bottom part of our listening area in New South Wales, around, I don't know, Nyngan, Narromine, crossing Canamble, even Lightning Ridge, you think it's worth a bit of a drive and spending a night or so around the area?
Absolutely, Rod. Yes, the Eromanga Natural History Museum is really a destination in this part of Australia. It's a new destination, which is fantastic because there hasn't been a lot in this area, but there's plenty to see. You've got the Dictory just down the road. You've got the hydroelectric scheme display at Fargo. You've got the Cosmos Centre in Charleville. So there's plenty of, and there's lots of other things to see along the way as well. So there's lots for people to do in this area. Roads are excellent as well, and there's always great coffee shops and places to stay as well. So people can spend a lot of time in this area, and certainly you can spend a lot of time in Eromanga as well. So definitely encourage them to come up and have a look and see what they can learn and see in this part of southwest Queensland.